Hello, gentlemen, and welcome to the Deep Dive. It's really great to have you with us today.
Good to be here.
You know, our whole mission here is pretty simple. We dig through sometimes a lot of complex information, find the really crucial stuff, and give you a kind of shortcut to feeling well-informed.
Saves you the legwork.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And today, we're diving into some really important insights from Dr. Moit Kara. Now, he's a professor of urology, a specialist in men's health, been doing this for over 30 years.
Yeah, tons of experience.
And his focus is all about protecting male vitality. Things like erections, testosterone, prostate health, keeping all that strong well into your senior years.
And what Dr. Kara points out right away is, well, it kind of flips things on their head. He basically says, look, it's not the act itself that usually causes the damage.
Interesting.
Yeah, he says it's what you do afterward that's where the danger hides. And that idea, that's really shaping our whole discussion today. We're looking at 5 common mistakes people make after intimacy. And these aren't just small oopsies. They can silently weaken erections, mess with your testosterone, and even increase your risk of prostate problems down the line. And stick around, because the last one, Dr. Kara thinks it's the most dangerous.
Wow, okay. Focusing on the after part, that's a shift. So let's jump right in. Mistake number 1. It sounds like something that feels almost completely natural, maybe even instinctive, but it can actually chip away at your vitality over time. What is it?
It's falling asleep immediately after masturbation. You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
The drowsiness hits you like a wave, body feels heavy, eyes get tired. You just want to crash.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Feels like the most natural thing in the world.
It does. But especially for men over 60, giving in too quickly, it can slowly, subtly drain your energy, your stamina, and yeah, even affect your erections.
I mean, who hasn't felt that pull? But biologically, what's actually going on inside that makes just drifting off, well, kind of harmful for this audience?
Well, after orgasm, your body releases a surge of prolactin. Now, this hormone, it signals your brain, okay, time to rest and recover. And that brings on that relaxed feeling, which is fine, but it also actively slows down your blood circulation. And think about it. For men in their 60s, maybe your blood vessels aren't quite as elastic as they used to be. Your heart might not pump blood quite as forcefully.
Okay, I see where this is going.
Yeah, so that slowdown is a missed opportunity. Your body needs that post-release time to flush out metabolic waste, get nutrients where they need to go, rebalance itself. Sleeping immediately basically slams the brakes on that whole crucial recovery process.
So the body's trying to do its cleanup, and we're just pulling the plug too soon. Dr. Kara mentioned patients saying things like, I just feel so drained the next day. Why?
Exactly. That's a direct consequence. Waste products hang around longer, your testosterone levels rebound slower, and that leads straight to feeling tired the next day, maybe less motivated, just lower energy overall.
And doing that repeatedly.
Repeatedly, yeah. It conditions your body. It starts to adapt to functioning with lower testosterone, more sluggish circulation, and that, bit by bit, silently erodes erectile strength. Like you wouldn't sprint and then just collapse without any cool down, right? You wouldn't expect to feel great the next day.
That's a really good analogy. Okay, so if collapsing isn't the answer, what's the simple fix?
It's actually incredibly simple. Just give yourself 5, maybe 10 minutes before you let yourself drift off.
Okay. Doing what? Nothing strenuous?
No, not at all. Gentle stuff. Walk around the room, maybe do a few light stretches, grab a glass of water, or even just sit and do some deep breathing for a few minutes.
Okay.
These simple actions, they signal to your body, okay, finish the job, helps flush the system, keeps the blood moving a bit, helps kickstart that testosterone restoration.
And the payoff for just those few minutes, people actually notice a difference.
Oh, absolutely. Men who make this small change, they often talk about having clear minds the next day, more, spring in their step. And over time, yeah, they report stronger, more reliable erections. It's proof that just a little conscious delay works.
Fascinating. How often our impulse for immediate comfort kind of backfires long term? Really makes you think about those small habits. But, okay, if being too relaxed immediately after is a problem, what about the opposite? Like trying to jolt yourself back to alertness.
Right. Good point. That leads us straight into the second mistake, which is also pretty common, but surprisingly harmful. Taking a cold shower right away.
The cold shower. Lots of guys think that's healthy, right? Wakes you up, washes away the fatigue.
Exactly. Dr. Kara hears it all the time. Doc, I always finish with a cold blast, makes me feel alive again, that kind of thing.
Feels bracing for sure. But you're saying if the body's in this kind of delicate recovery mode,
Yeah.
what does that icy water actually do?
Well, think about it. After orgasm, your blood vessels are wide open, dilated, your nerves are relaxed, tissues are kind of vulnerable. Dr. Kara calls it the recovery phase.
Okay.
Now, you suddenly hit that state with icy water. What happens? Those wide open blood vessels, they constrict fast, clench up.
Right, vasoconstriction.
Exactly. And instead of helping recovery, that shock actually pushes blood away from the sexual organs. It slows down the very circulation that's supposed to be bringing in nutrients and oxygen to help things recover.
So it's not a boost, it's actually interrupting the repair process.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do long term, especially for older guys, if they do this repeatedly?
Well, Dr. Kara has had patients, men in their 60s, 70s, kind of quietly say, Doc, I feel like things are shrinking down there. Now, obviously, many factors can be involved,
Sure.
but repeated cold exposure right after release, it's a hidden contributor. Tissues can lose some elasticity, erections might start to feel less firm, less robust, and that physical change plus the worry it causes,
Yeah.
it can really take a toll.
Yeah, psychologically too.
Definitely. He even mentioned making this mistake himself when he was younger, thinking it was somehow, tough or disciplined. But he realized the body doesn't see it as strength. It sees it as stress. And for older men whose vessels might already be a bit less forgiving, that stress can cause more damage.
That's a really important insight. Perceiving it as stress, not strength. So if the cold shock is out, what's the better alternative?
Simple again. A mild, warm shower. Not hot, just warm.
Okay.
Warm water helps the blood flow nice and freely. It keeps the muscles relaxed. It supports that natural, gentle recovery process instead of fighting it. Men who switch often notice, fuller erections, quicker recovery. They feel comfort, not tension. It's about working with your body.
Working with your body, being an ally. I like that framing. Okay, so sleeping too soon is bad. A cold shock is bad. What about what we put into our bodies right after? That brings us to mistake number 3, I guess.
Yes, mistake number 3. Reaching for the junk food, the alcohol, maybe a cigarette. This is a big one. That comfort trap.
Yeah, it feels almost automatic sometimes, doesn't it? That pull towards something salty or sweet, or maybe a drink, a smoke,
Yeah.
just to relax in that vulnerable post-release moment.
Totally. It's a classic go-to. But Dr. Kara points out it's basically the exact opposite of what your body actually needs right then.
How so? What does it need versus what we give it?
Well, think about the state you're in. Your feel-good dopamine has just dropped. Your testosterone has dipped temporarily. Your nervous system is trying to find its balance again.
Right.
At that precise moment, your body is craving real nutrients, hydration, things that help restore it. But what happens when you throw in processed carbs, sugar, nicotine, alcohol? You're not helping. You're basically adding more stress onto an already taxed system.
And that messes with your hormones too, right? Like blood sugar spikes and crashes, and it affects the testosterone balance.
Absolutely. It creates this internal chaos. Blood sugar goes wild, hormones crash even harder, and critically, your body can end up producing more estrogen relative to testosterone. And for men over 60, that imbalance, that's a recipe for problems.
Like what kind of problems specifically?
Things we hear about all the time. That stubborn belly fat that won't shift, feeling sluggish and foggy in the mornings, that slow, creeping loss of desire or drive. It's all connected. Dr. Carr tells this great story about a patient, late 60s. Guy was just plagued by fatigue, low mood, weakening erections. His testosterone was really low. And the guy finally admitted, almost sheepishly, that his ritual every single time after release was chips and a beer to wind down.
The classic combo.
Yeah, it was just automatic. So Dr. Carr convinced him to try swapping it. Just water and maybe a handful of almonds instead.
Okay. Did it work?
Within weeks, the guy's energy was up, his mood was better, even his sexual performance improved noticeably. Just from that one simple swap, it really shows how much those seemingly small choices matter right then.
And you mentioned earlier, it's not always just physical craving, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes reaching for that stuff masks other things.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes it's covering up feelings of guilt, maybe loneliness or just boredom. But using food or substances that way, it doesn't solve the underlying issue, it just digs the hole deeper.
So the clear message here is nourish your body, don't punish it or stress it out further.
Exactly. Go for something restorative. A piece of fruit, maybe some herbal tea, or honestly, just plain water is great. Fuel the recovery. Don't fight it. It's about honoring yourself.
It's amazing how much control we actually have through these, seemingly minor decisions. But, okay, we've talked physical actions, we've talked fuel.
Yeah.
There's another danger zone that's less visible, but maybe even more destructive. Something happening in the mind.
That's a perfect way to put it. Mistake number 4, guilt and overthinking. Dr. Carr actually suggests this mental aspect, this internal battle, can be more damaging than some of the physical missteps, especially for men over 60.
Wow. More damaging.
Yeah. Well, he's had men confess, almost whispering, Doc, I still masturbate sometimes, but afterwards I just feel dirty, like I've done something wrong. It really brings up a tough question. Why does our society sometimes load self-pleasure with so much shame, particularly for older men?
It's a heavy weight to carry, isn't it? Especially if it's based on old messages rather than, biological reality.
Yeah.
That guilt must really impact your hormones, your energy,
Yeah.
your whole sense of self as a vital man.
It absolutely does. And there's a direct biological link. When you feel guilt, shame, negative self-talk, your body releases cortisol, the stress hormone.
Correct.
And here's the kicker. Every time cortisol spikes, testosterone tends to drop. Testosterone, the very hormone you need for desire, for erections, for energy, for vitality.
So it creates this horrible feedback loop.
Exactly, a vicious cycle. You might feel the urge, you release, then bam, the guilt hits. That spikes cortisol, lowers testosterone, builds up stress, which might paradoxically increase the urge again. Maybe not out of joy, but out of pressure or habit. And the cycle repeats, deepening the guilt, stealing your peace.
Sounds exhausting, like being trapped in your head. Did Dr. Carr offer any insight to the
He did. He showed that even as a young man, during medical treatment, he carried some of those same feelings. It wasn't until he really studied mentality, masturbation in moderation, yeah, the problem. He suggests simple, actionable, when not late, move your body, even a short walk around the block, or
Why do those things happen?
because they interrupt the spiral of signals to the brain, helps reset your hormonal balance. It's about actively reclaiming your mental space.
And the benefit of actually letting go of that guilt, it must feel like a huge weight lifted.
Oh, immense. Men who manage to shed that guilt. They consistently report feeling lighter, calmer, more confident, not just sexually, but in life generally. And often their erections improve too, not just because of hormones, but because their mind isn't actively fighting against their body anymore. Overcoming that guilt, it's a huge gift to yourself.
That's really powerful. The mind-body connection is so clear there.
Hmm.
Okay, so the mind can sabotage you with guilt, but there's one more mistake. The fifth one, you said Dr. Carr considers the most dangerous. This one sounds like it does more direct physical harm, especially to the prostate.
Yes, mistake number 5, back-to-back masturbation.
Doing it again too soon.
Exactly. He calls this the ultimate strain, and it's something often done quietly, maybe out of a desire to chase the feeling or perhaps to kind of prove you still can, prove your vitality.
I could see the temptation there.
Sure. But for a body that needs recovery time, and this is especially true for men over 60 pushing for a second round too quickly, puts a really enormous unnecessary strain on the entire system.
Okay, explain that strain. What's this recovery overload doing inside the body?
So after one release, as we said, testosterone drops, dopamine drops, but also your prostate gland, your nerves, your blood vessels, they all enter this crucial recovery and refractory period.
All right, the downtime.
Exactly. Pushing for more before that recovery is complete, it essentially forces everything to work overtime. It doubles the needed recovery period, and crucially, it forces the prostate gland itself to overwork. Dr. Carr really stresses this point. You risk inflaming the prostate, and that gland is vital for both urinary function and sexual health.
So you're stressing a key organ.
Precisely. He's heard it countless times from older men. The first time felt fine, strong even, but the second time, it felt weak, almost empty. They get worried thinking, oh no, I'm losing it. But he explains, often it's not that they're losing it permanently, it's their body screaming, hey, slow down, respect the recovery time.
So it's not a sign of strength to push through. It's actually actively damaging things.
Yeah.
What are the potential long-term consequences of putting the prostate and the whole system under that constant pressure?
Well, repeatedly forcing back-to-back sessions can lead to chronic inflammation of the prostate, which is prostatitis. It can contribute to prostate enlargement. And it can definitely lead to weaker erections over time, erections that might not even respond well to medication later on. You're basically chipping away at your long-term strength session by session.
That sounds serious.
Yeah.
So for men who want to protect themselves long-term, what's the disciplined, healthy approach here?
Patience. It really comes down to the power of patience. Dr. Carr strongly advises giving your body a solid window to recover fully. Generally, 24 to 48 hours is a good guideline.
Okay.
That time allows your body to properly heal, restore its testosterone levels, let the prostate relax and recover. He insists this patience isn't weakness. It's actually the key to protecting your strength and vitality for the years ahead.
Okay, so let's just quickly recap this deep dive. We've looked at 5 key things not to do after intimacy, particularly for men over 60. First, don't fall asleep immediately. Give yourself 5–10 minutes to move gently.
Right. Second, skip the cold shower, opt for warm water instead to support circulation, not shock it.
Third, avoid the junk food, alcohol, cigarettes. Choose something nourishing like water or fruit to help your body recover.
Fourth, actively combat guilt and negative thoughts. Use movement or mindfulness to break the stress cycle and protect your testosterone.
And finally, the big one, avoid back-to-back sessions. Give your body, especially your prostate, that crucial 24–48 hours to recover fully. Patience protects strength.
Exactly. You know, Dr. Carr has seen so many men in their 60s and 70s look back with regret, wishing they'd known these things earlier. So much frustration about decline that might have been preventable. But he's also seen the flip side. The absolute joy and renewed confidence in men who did apply these lessons. Men who stayed active for a few minutes after, chose the warm shower, grabbed water instead of beer, practiced self-compassion, respected their recovery time. They genuinely reported feeling younger, more confident, more in control.
It really drives home the point, doesn't it? You can't rewind the clock, but you absolutely can choose healthier habits, choose discipline, and start protecting your vitality today. These mistakes don't have to dictate your future.
That's the core message. At this stage of life, maybe it's less about chasing some idea of lost youth and more about intentionally building strength, energy, and intimacy that's sustainable, that lasts.
Well said. So maybe a final thought for everyone listening. What's one small, consistent choice you could make starting today that could make the biggest difference in protecting your vitality moving forward?
Good question to ponder.
Well, thank you for joining us for this really insightful deep dive today. We covered a lot of important ground.
My pleasure.
And if this conversation resonated with you, please do give this deep dive a like, maybe share it with a friend who could benefit, and definitely subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future explorations like this one.
Absolutely.
Until next time, take care of yourselves and keep thriving.